What's up, people? In this video, we're going to be going over all the buffs and nerfs that are going to be coming with the release of Ranked and ROCO Company this Wednesday. We're going to cover all the buffs and nerfs that are coming to weapons and gadgets in the game. And then we're going to discuss how those changes are going to affect Ranked and who is getting chosen when it comes to picking a team for Ranked. If this seems like something that you want to see more of, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's jump right into the video. Let's go over all the buffs and nerfs that are coming to weapons first. We're going to start off with the KA-30. This is the gun that Dima and Ronin use. So basically the KA-30 is getting a buff. It is getting a reduced reticle bloom, which basically means that you can hold down the trigger, spray for longer with the KA-30 without losing accuracy. I was very surprised to see this buff because I felt like the KA-30 was in a good spot already. Next up on our list is going to be the Nightshade, which is Vi's weapon. Vi's gun is getting a buff. It is going to get increased body shot damage going from 16 to 17 and then slightly reduced accuracy loss per shot. So again, you'll be able to hold down the trigger longer without losing accuracy. Vi's weapon is already pretty accurate, so we'll see what that looks like in practice. Now the SLC, which is Ronin and Scorch's weapon, didn't receive too much of a change. They just did a fix for this weapon. So basically the recoil was not scaling with the level increase, so now that should be fixed. The next weapon on our list is going to be the Deadeye. This is Talon's DMR. This weapon has received a pretty good nerf. Hipfire accuracy has been slightly reduced, and also the fall off damage range has been adjusted. Now, if you remember, Talon's weapon used to be able to 2-tap from a pretty far distance, hitting you for 50 damage to the head. Now it seems like that has fallen down to about 43 as you get a little bit out of range. Now, in all honesty, that's probably an adjustment that needed to be made. Talon was able to do some huge damage from across the map. So all in all, this is probably a fair buff, but something to keep in mind if you are used to this gun being able to 2-tap from a very far distance. The next weapon on our list is going to be the Mamba. The Mamba has actually received a buff. This is the weapon that Dima and Saint use. Now, the range was increased from 27 meters to 29 meters, and then the horizontal recoil has been reduced. So overall, that is going to be a pretty good buff for the Mamba, which means it's going to be able to deal heavy damage at a further range and be overall more accurate. Now, the last primary weapon that we need to speak about is going to be the MXR. This is a weapon that's used by Dahlia and Trench. This weapon has had significant nerfs overall, especially if you compare it to the other weapons on the list. Basically, the hip fire accuracy has been reduced. The range has been reduced from 31 meters to 27 meters. The fall off damage has also been changed, and if it follows the same suit as the rest of our adjustments here, that means that it's going to deal less damage from range. They fixed the issue where now you no longer pop up on the mini map when you buy the suppressor, so when you level it up to tier 3, so that's a good thing. But they also fixed the issue apparently where the reticle bloom was not performing as intended, so now you're going to have more bloom on the weapon. This isn't technically a nerf. It was never supposed to be as good as it was in the first place, so it seems like they're bringing it back in line. But all in all, the MXR has definitely received a nerf, but it should still be fairly viable. Now, the secondaries have also had some slight changes. Let's start off with the Spitfire first. This is used by Chalk, Lancer, and Ronin. Basically, the reticle bloom has been reduced, so it means you're going to be more accurate when holding down that trigger. They've also increased the range from 8 meters to 9 meters, and they've adjusted the fall off ranges a little bit. So it seems like it goes in 3 stages, and they've just made it a little more clear of how much damage you're going to be doing at certain ranges. Same for the Executioner. They've adjusted the fall off damage range, and as with the Spitfire, it just is more solid on how much damage you're going to do from certain ranges. Now that we've covered weapons, let's go ahead and cover the buffs and nerfs that are coming to gadgets in the next release. The first gadget that we're going to cover is going to be the flashbangs. So basically, they are getting 0.25 seconds shaved off of their fuse timer, and you should no longer get those false hit markers when you throw a flash grenade at a person or a group of people. That was a huge issue for a while in ROCO Company. You would throw the grenade, it would give you the hit marker, and then you would rush in not knowing that you actually didn't blind anybody. The next gadget on our list is going to be the EMP grenade. Basically, the radius has gone from 6 meters to 8 meters. Now, I know some people may not think this is a big issue, but in reality, the EMP grenade has always been pretty good, and this is just going to make it even better. So moving into ranked, I think we're going to just see even more use coming out of this EMP grenade. The last gadget on our list is going to be the tear gas. It's going to have its radius reduced from 10 meters to 8. The duration goes from 8 seconds to 7. And then its reduced speed goes from 50 to 25%. So overall, tear gas is getting a fairly big nerf. I will admit, when the game first came out, I didn't give tear gas enough respect, but in competitive play, tear gas is going to be very effective, especially for the fact that it reduces your movement speed. And we all know that time is a big deal in this type of game. Now, let's take a moment and talk about how these changes are going to affect the meta moving into ranked play. Let's start off with Trench. He has received several nerfs over the past few weeks. So Trench no longer has tenacity, his MXR is way less effective, and his tear gas has also seen a pretty fair nerf. I think these nerfs may bring Anvil and Vi back into favor. Not to say that they were ever completely gone, but Trench has definitely been the top defender for a while now. Now, I think Anvil is going to be making a comeback because even with his recent nerfs, his defensive capabilities haven't really been nerfed at all. It's actually harder to get rid of Anvil's shield now, so he's going to make for an awesome defender moving forward. That steel wall that you're just going to have to go around, right? You can't really break it down anymore effectively because nobody's actually buying shredder rounds. So Anvil also has the headstrong life drain combo, which is going to make him a pain to take down, right? Being able to repair your armor and on downs you get your health back. He's going to be one of those rogues that people will approach very cautiously, especially as you get later into those rounds, because you know he's going to be the type of rogue that can really change the tide of a fight, especially if you get in close to him. Now for Vi is going to be viable again because she does have that slight buff to the Nightshade, and for the most part, her defensive capabilities haven't really been messed with too much. Yes, she doesn't have the potency of the tear gas anymore, but she still has the incendiary grenades, which will make for excellent zoning. And then if you pair that with her abilities Vial Poison, she still has the ability to hold off points and really make people have to backtrack or rethink the path that they want to take. So both of those defenders, I think, are going to kind of push up a little bit. This isn't to say that Trench will be completely gone, but he won't necessarily just be a automatic pick, right? The next rogue that I want to talk about here is going to be Talon. As you know, he received that small nerfs to the Deadeye, and I think this may make people opt to play Dallas a bit more because Dallas still has the Devotion, which hasn't had its damage really reduced in any way and can still two-tap people even at range. So I think people may go ahead and opt for Dallas because he can still provide that vision and give people that playstyle if they so choose. The buff to the Mamba may actually make people choose Saint over Dahlia when they want to play a certain playstyle. Like if you want to play a little more passive, more backline support, the Mamba may be the better choice over the MXR in its nerf state, because the Mamba can still 2 burst from a pretty good range, and even if not, it can deal some pretty decent damage. And with the increased range and also the reduced recoil, it could be the better weapon overall now. So I think a lot of Saint players are going to get some joy in that, being able to use that weapon effectively and being able to put some hard covering fire down for their teammates as they're getting reses and just keeping their team safe in general. I think the fix to the flashbang grenades are going to make Chalk even more enticing, especially when attacking. Chalk is already going to be a top pick just based off the buffs that he has received over this short period of time, but also adding the flash grenades in there, that's going to be vital for those nesting teams, those people who want to really hunker down. You pair, you know, Chalk with like Glitch or somebody who can breach really hard, and you're going to have a nasty combination, especially now that you're going to know that your flashbangs actually hit the person that you aim for, right? So that's going to be a big deal. And then the EMP grenade, like I said before, I think people sleep on that a little bit. This is going to be just a overall great change because it's going to make them more viable, and now you won't just simply have to depend on Glitch to shut down people. You'll be able to use your EMP grenades effectively to do that. And I feel like I can't end this video without mentioning the KA30 buff. Now, this is the one weapon in the game that I felt didn't need any type of change at all. If anything, I would have understood if people would have said that it needed a nerf. I wouldn't have agreed with it, but I would have understood it. But definitely didn't see them buffing this weapon. I don't believe that it needed any type of increased accuracy or bloom reduction or any of that. So I'm curious to see how this goes. I don't think it's going to change anything for the most part, right? Dima and Ronin were going to be top picks for ranked regardless. So because their kits are just so good, they are solid rogues, they are competitive rogues. So even if they would have nerfed the KA30, I think they still would have been top choices. So I don't think it changes much in that sense. But again, I just didn't feel like they needed it. But in any case, that's my opinion, guys. That's what I think about this meta moving forward. Let me know what you think. Who do you think are going to be top choices? Do you think any of these buffs and nerfs didn't need to happen? As always, put that down in the comments. I love to hear your thoughts. If you made it to the end of the video, give me a peace in the comments, and we'll see you tomorrow with another video. I'm excited for ranked. We will see you later. Peace, 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 peace.